Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, I just wanted to make a video about what you actually should have did in a 9 universal year. So a lot of people are getting very confused. They're getting, I'd say, on this analogy of, oh, I got to focus on what's my personal year? What age am I? What does that year vibration add to? And what people need to more so think about is, for one, your transits, what you're going through each year. The transit report's going to give you all of that. And then also, you have to understand that the world, the earth itself is on a certain vibration. Every single country, every single human being is acknowledging the year 2025. So that gives the universal year a little bit more strength than even your personal year at times. So what I mean by that is, yes, your personal year is very, very strong, and you want to strategize with your personal year to see what you should be doing in regards to, if you're like in your 1 year, maybe start new things. If you're in a 7 year, maybe stay more so secluded to yourself and just isolate and study and be more of a strategist. But you have to also adapt to the year that you're in when it comes to a universal energy. So when you look at a 9 universal year, this wasn't really a year to say, oh, I have huge goals, or I want to add on new good habits, or I want to do XYZ with my life, or I want to go traveling. It more so should have been a year where you're like, I want to cut things out. Meaning, you should have been looking at the year of like, okay, if I drink, I should stop drinking this year. If I smoke, I should stop smoking this year. If I argue with my significant other a lot, I should stop doing that this year and hold my tongue more. So it was actually a year to dissect internally yourself and start breaking apart the bad habits and things that have been limiting you and actually self-sabotaging you. So that was what this year was really all about. Cutting out friends that were toxic, letting go of bad habits. It was a year of actually not necessarily self-reflection. I would say that's more of a 7-year thing, but I'd say it's more of a time where you should have been cutting out the unnecessary out of your life, and then you bring room for growth in the 1 universal year regardless of what personal year you have. So you have to adapt. So what does that mean exactly? Because it's going to be a shorter video. I think it's very obvious what I'm getting at. If you have a personal year 1, for instance, and then you're in a 9 universal year, I'm going to answer all of your questions you're going to leave for me in the comments. I'm just going to get right through it from now. If you have a 9 universal year, where in 2025 you're in a 1 personal year, you should have been saying, I got to cut out all my bad habits for the first half of the year, and the second half of the year, put in my good habits. If you were in a 2 or an 11 personal year in 2025, you should have been saying, if I have a bad partner, I need to dump them or get a divorce. And then I'm not going to look for anything new until my 3 personal year. If you're in a 3 personal year like myself, you should have been saying, what speech patterns are useless to me? What social circles are no longer in my algorithm when it comes to my purpose and my agenda in life? What do I need to cut out socially? If you're in a 4 year, you should have been saying, what routine or regimen am I on that is useful to me, and what things am I doing, like habits that are not useful to me? If you're in a 5 year, you should have been focusing on, where am I putting most of my attention? Let me take away attention from the things that are useless, like social media and just mindless scrolling, and then maybe replace it with something else, whether it be reading, studying, or going towards my purpose. Once again, it's always about purpose. If you're in a 22 year, because I missed that one, I said the 11 part. If you're in a 22, it's a master builder personal year, then you really should have been focusing on what has been self-sabotaging, what's been destructive in my life. That was of utmost importance to you. If you're in a 6 or a 33 year, you got to focus on your family, friends, social dynamic, and where harmonization was taking place. Where is that being disrupted? Cut it out completely. If you're in a 7 personal year, this was a year to be very, very isolated, very much focused on strategy, philosophy, weaponizing your mind, and really not sharing anything about yourself with anybody. I'm not saying cut off the world, but this should be a year where it's all about yourself. Excuse me. If you were in an 8 personal year, you have to look at what your spending habits were like and what you do to self-sabotage your status and other things when it comes to achieving power. Things that were taking power away from you, you need to cut out this year. And things that were giving you power, you need to give more attention this year. If you're in a 9, then you definitely know how it goes. You should have been cutting out anything that was useless, and it's as simple as that. So, guys, understand this. I want to just make a very short video because we still have November, December of this year to go. You're definitely in some sort of personal year now. Take the advice from this video, utilize it to your own advantage, and get things done. The next thing you guys should be focusing on is, do I have an enemy year next year? Or do I have an enemy trine next year? Meaning, because everybody thinks, oh, my enemy year is not next year. If your enemy trine is next year, you still have to be, that's like a yellow light. You still need to be cautious. You still have to know what you're doing. You still should either be doing rituals, you should be clearing up your karma from now, you should be already fortifying yourself mentally, financially, spiritually. In every single way, you should be preparing yourself for an enemy year. If you have a friendly year coming up, then of course you should be using this year to cut out everything bad so that you can actually maximize a friendly year. Whether that be, when I say a friendly year, I mean in Chinese astrology, a friendly trine. If you're like a horse, great. If you're a dog, great. If you're a tiger, great. Next year is going to be great for you. That's how you have to look at it. That's how you have to actually start perceiving things to actually achieve success, guys. You got to strategize ahead of the game and then realize, okay, what does next year bring? The one universal year. What do I got to do for that? And how does my personal year contradict or coincide with that said year that's coming up? These are the things you got to focus on at the end of this year, and then I'll get ready for the next year and have a head start ahead of your competition, ahead of your family, ahead of friends, allies, everybody. Because at the end of the day, life is competition and war. So you have to focus on it in a sense of what's my terrain, how do I adapt to my terrain, and how do I ultimately win? Doesn't matter what life path you are. We're human beings. We're in a capitalistic society. If you're watching this, you have bills. That's how you got to be using astrology and numerology as tools, weapons, to actually get ahead in life and make sure that you're always one step ahead. All right, so like I said, guys, short video today. If you have any questions for me, just leave in the comment section. Aside from that, like, subscribe. Holla, me too for today, guys. Peace.